The Ring of Gullion Landscape Partnership Scheme is part of the Heritage Lottery Fund's programme to conserve some of the area's most treasured landscapes. So some of the actions in the Ring of Gullion Landscape Partnership Scheme are trail construction, storytelling, showcasing Gullion's heritage and interpreting the area's rich heritage through the Newry Canal project. So the landscape of this area was formed about 60 million years ago with the opening of the Atlantic Ocean. But then in more recent times, up to 12,000 years, it was shaped by ice, and that left the landscape you see today. So every nook and cranny around Slieve Gullion and the Ring of Gullion is inhabited by some of our most precious wildlife. So we have red squirrels, we have pine martens. The area we're in at the minute, Slieve Gullion, that's a designated special area of conservation for its dry heat. So this landscape is really rich with biodiversity, but also human habitation. So that people moved here about 68,000 years ago, and there are evidence of Neolithic people. And we've been doing some archaeological digs with Queens, and we've dug up 2 Iron Age sites, one at Cornahove and one at the Dorsey. So the partnership consists of about 30 individuals from different organisations representing geology, history, outdoor recreation, and the lead partner, Newry Mourne Down District Council, has made the Ring of Gullion Landscape Partnership Scheme a top priority over this last 5 years, and will do so as well for the next 10 years in the legacy phase.
It is with immense sadness that I hear, that the Ring of Gullion Landscape Partnership is coming to an end, because I think it was a hugely beneficial programme for the Slieve Gullion area. Traditionally, going back over the decades, most of us in Slieve Gullion would have felt that we didn't really get an awful lot of acknowledgement for the beautiful place that we live in. And thanks to the Heritage Lottery Fund, the money became available to create the Landscape Partnership. And I can't even begin to tell people of the benefits that have come from that, in terms of really promoting the beautiful culture, history, environment, the scenery, the opportunity to work with the schools, our men's sheds group, our community groups, to really involve everybody to make the whole Ring of Gullion a truly inclusive space to live in and to be part of. There have been a huge number of programmes that have been carried out. The partnership were instrumental in securing the funding to make the top of Slieve Gullion accessible to the many tourists that are now coming into our area. I know last year we had almost 400 tourists come in just to walk up Slieve Gullion and to enjoy the benefits of the park. So that in itself has been a huge turnaround for the Slieve Gullion area. I think the whole purpose of it was to look at areas that were of significance in terms of their history, their culture, their diversity, their environment, their geology, and every single goal that the programme was set, they have met and gone beyond that. And I know myself and other councillors and members of the board, we sat in an assessment of the programme, and it was actually a bit embarrassing because it was almost impossible to find anything negative to say, other than the fact that we were devastated that it would come to an end, because everything that has been touched by the staff and those involved in the partnership has had a tremendous effect on our local community. They have brought a sense of pride and inclusion into the whole Slieve Gullion area, and I could not commend it enough as a programme and all of the staff that have been involved.
My name is Des Murphy and I'm the chair of the Ring of Gullion Landscape Partnership Scheme. I was elected to chair approximately 4 years ago. Ring of Gullion is in South Armagh, and South Armagh approximately 20 years ago came out of a terrible war that lasted approximately 30 years. So before we formed the Ring of Gullion Landscape Partnership Scheme, we had nothing. We had no tourism whatsoever in this area. In fact, nobody came into our area because of the Troubles. It was an area that nobody knew, and it was an area that nobody particularly wanted to visit. So the Ring of Gullion Landscape Partnership Scheme has amazingly changed all of that. The team that was built up around the Ring of Gullion Landscape Partnership Scheme have been amazing. It's been run by project manager Darren Rice and his entire staff, all the girls in the office, unbelievable. The Traditional Arts Partnership I knew nothing about. It was, today, I didn't even know we had the talent in South Armagh, the musical talent in South Armagh, in instruments and also singing. And I got involved with these people, then I joined these people, and now I'm playing a bodhrán. Bestbrook linen was the largest linen production in the world in the mid-1800s, early 1900s. And it was bigger than Titanic, it was bigger than anything. And we had a project where we needed to highlight this trade and this industry. And we came across an old tram that belonged to the tramway of Bestbrook Mill in a field, and we had a lovely fund set up so that we could restore that tram and showcase the industry for tourism reasons. This is just one very small project that we have, one that I was personally involved in. With all of that is, again, coming back to the Troubles again, we have Camlock and Bestbrook. One village was looked on as Catholic and Republican, the other village was looked on as Protestant and Unionist. And our Heritage Society, the Bestbrook Heritage Society, have all linked up and joined together. We meet regularly together. We never did this before. If we hadn't got this scheme, we probably still wouldn't be doing this. We were friendly with our neighbours, we always were friendly with our neighbours, but we never worked with them, we never mixed with them. And these projects have helped that. The art project that involved Bestbrook Mill, the art project outside Camlock, a cloud in the big cage that's sitting at the end of Camlock Lake, showing where the power source came from Camlock Lake to Bestbrook Mill. In Bestbrook Mill Pond, we have another art project, a big plant that was from the linen production. All of these projects would never have happened if it hadn't been for the Ring of Gullion Landscape Partnership Scheme, if it hadn't been the direction of Darren Rice and his team. Thank you very much indeed.
My name is Alison Brady. I am the Volunteer and Outreach Officer for the Ring of Gullion Landscape Partnership. I have been responsible for recruiting and working with a lot of volunteers and for initiating a lot of the outreach programmes that we've been running. My favourite outreach project by far is the Lunasa Festival, which is a month-long festival that we run during August. We get lots of different members of the community together from different community groups, and individuals come together to put on a whole range of events. We usually have over 30 events running throughout the month of August, from guided walks to talks to arts and crafts and our geotastic extravaganza, which is a fantastic opportunity to share the local heritage of the area, both natural and human heritage, with local people as well as visitors from outside the area. I've worked with over 290 volunteers over the course of the 4-year programme. Our volunteers come out during the winter time mostly and cut down unwanted vegetation. In the summertime they come and help me take care of the giant hogweed, which is a very nasty plant if anyone's experienced a burn from that plant. It's vital to get rid of it, and we have it in a few spots in South Armagh, but we're doing our best to get rid of it whilst we're here. The other thing they do is they come and help with the events themselves by taking pictures, by helping us put stuff up on the website, and just generally helping out. It's fantastic to work with such amazing local people who are so passionate about their area that they freely give of their time to come and help look after the area.
I had been a stay-at-home mum for 9 or 10 years, and I was trying to decide what to do when I went back to work. I knew that I didn't want to go back into an office engineering and projects environment, so I was looking for something else to do. I had a conversation on Facebook with one of your colleagues, and I asked her about possible things that I could be doing, and she mentioned volunteering with the Landscape Partnership Scheme. So I came to it to look for something to do with regard to my ongoing career, and from that I've moved on. I'm now back working, and I'm working in a garden centre in the outdoors as I wanted to do. My children have been involved in various mini beast expeditions. They've learned about pond life up on the Ring of Gullion. They've gone out on bat walks. They've learned about bees and butterflies. All of this was great experience because the Landscape Partnership then helped bring nature into the classrooms at their school through my children, and their teachers were often astounded by their knowledge of the local area and local heritage and the things that we could do to help the natural environment around us. So there's been loads that I've enjoyed with the group.
My name's Abby McSherry, and I'm the Project Officer with the Ring of Gullion Landscape Partnership. and I'm standing here in Glasdrummond Wood, which is one of my favourite projects to have worked on. I'm actually in the outdoor classroom of the Biodiversity Trail within Glasdrummond Wood. The local priest had an idea that this site would make a wonderful playground, would make a wonderful learning resource for the local children around here. And that was his idea 10 years ago. Now it's taken 10 years for him to find the people to work with in the form of the Landscape Partnership to realise his dream. So what we started with here was some money from the Challenge Fund to build a footpath right the way round the wood. Then the Landscape Partnership came in and we went out to the people, we went into the schools, we went to the local community group and asked them what else they wanted to see in the woodland. The outdoor classroom here was the idea of one little child who said that this was like a theatre. And we thought that this would make a lovely place for outdoor learning. We've put in a blackboard, but the shape of the land is what has enabled us to make this feature. We can seat 30 children here. Children come here to do their homework, they play with the blackboard. They're in this beautiful area and you can hear all the birds singing. So this is a lovely, lovely entrance to the woodland. As we move on down through the footpath, we've got an area which we've called animal hotels. We've got bird boxes, bat boxes, we've got insect hotels, which make almost sculptural, beautiful pieces on the side of the wood, but are also fantastic homes for the insects. We've then put in a pond dipping area, cleaned out a lot of the drains and the ponds so that the water is no longer just a muddy puddle, but is now in a proper pond. We've put a pond dipping platform in so that children can find out as the insects start to recolonise this wood. The children will be able to find out what's living in the pond. And then in a lovely sunny corner, we've had the hedge laid by volunteers. We've put in some den areas, and the den area is just a fantastic enlargement of what was already done there. When we cleaned the wood, we found the evidence of the last generation's dens in that area. So children have played in this wood all along, and now we're just making it so that they can play in it far better.
My name's Edel McGeaney and I started working with the Ring of Gullion Landscape Partnership as the finance officer 4 years ago. The project has been a real learning experience for me. From a finance background, I've had a great opportunity to learn vast amount of things, not only about the Ring of Gullion area, but about biodiversity and the myths and legends. So it has been a real eye-opener for me, as well as an opportunity to develop my career further. I was also involved as a project officer on the Bestbrick Model Village project, and I have now taken on a position as project officer for the Ascent project. I've also had great opportunities to work with Alison in the Lunasa Festival as part of a charity group that I'm involved with, Autism Families. This was a great chance to hold some autism friendly events in the local area and promote autism awareness. I think one of my favourite projects for the Landscape Partnership Scheme was an archaeological dig which took place, and local school children were able to come out on site, get down and dirty and see how real archaeologists would do a dig. This was a great learning experience for them, and I think it was one of the best projects so far.
So I'm Trace Hamill. I am the AOMB Ring of Gullion officer for Newry Morning Town District Council. I work alongside the Landscape Partnership team. The AOMB is designation for the Ring of Gullion area, and it means Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty. So through the Landscape Partnership, it's meant a big difference in terms of the delivery of the AOMB plan. It's meant that a lot of the projects that maybe we didn't have enough funding for has been delivered. It's engaged with a lot more communities than we were able to work with. The AOMB management plan covers the natural, cultural and built heritage. So in terms of the natural heritage, the Landscape Partnership has enabled us to have a lot more equipment. We've got now a biodiversity equipment list that community groups and schools can borrow the equipment and carry out surveys. By the Landscape Partnership having equipment, it means that we've got a lot more recordings of butterflies and bats and flowers. through the Landscape Partnership we were able to do a wildflower booklet, so now people can use that booklet to go around the Ring of Gullion and look for different wildflowers, and that's been very popular with a lot of the walking groups. The Ring of Gullion now has been classed as an area for key research in terms of pine martens and red squirrels and seeing the relationship between the two and grey squirrels. The Landscape Partnership has increased the skills and the knowledge of the area, but also the confidence of the community in terms of their belief in the area and what's in it. We've had a number of conferences now, so we've had the All-Ireland Pine Marten Conference, Outdoor Recreation Conference, so that meant that we had people coming over from Scotland and Spain speaking about outdoor recreation to groups from all over Northern Ireland, and that was held in the Ring of Gullion, and I don't think that would have happened if it wasn't for the Landscape Partnership. It's been a massive benefit in terms of resources, the amount of money that it's been able to put into the projects and people as well. And you can see now new projects coming up. Those groups are keen to get involved, they want to keep it going. So it's really infused community groups in terms of what they can do and beliefs in themselves, and they're coming with their own ideas and applying for new money and new projects, and they just want to keep it going now. And I just think it's brilliant.
And another fantastic project that I'm very proud of is the Youth Rangers. We've trained up 40 Youth Rangers over the 4 years. They come out and spend 2 weeks with us in the summer, and they do a mixture of outdoor adventure activities and practical conservation. So they've been building things like dead hedges, they do bracken bashing along the famine wall in preparation for the Lunasa festival, they build adventure paths, and in return we take them on fun educational adventure activities, so hiking up Sleep Gullion, which is not necessarily their favourite, bouldering over in Bloody Ridge, which they very much enjoy, and canoeing on Camla Lake. And we also teach them zombie apocalypse survival skills, which is how to build fires from scratch, forage your food in the wild, and then also how to throw an axe at incoming zombies, which I think is probably their favourite bit. We also teach them a bit of archery as well, so they can get those zombies from far away. So it's been absolutely fantastic to work with the Landscape Partnership. I've really enjoyed my time here, and I hope the community goes from strength to strength in the coming years.